Morning, everyone. I just left a very large appointment that well, it's not large, it's just a fucking appointment. It's me just using descriptive words for no reason. So I just left my naturopathic doctor, and what's super exciting is I'm starting to get a lot of headway on the whole health issues that's been going on with me. So I haven't made a health update video in quite a while, so I figured I would do that today and also give some guidance to people out there who are dealing with chronic health issues and such, just in an effort to get you on the right track faster. So what I've come to find after all of my research, everything that I have been checking out and everything I've been dealing with for the last 6 years, is that I believe what I'm dealing with, because I've gotten by all the psychological traumas as much as I'm going to, all the emotional, mental abuse and all the crazy stuff, like finding my ex-girlfriend crushed in the car and, being homeless and having all the crazy shit go on with the businesses and things crashing in my life and all different types of like sickness and issues that I've been dealing with. I think all of the psychological traumas are gone. But what happens nowadays is that I basically it's like I just have such a terrible, terrible time with anxiety and insomnia and issues with, almost like bipolar-like symptoms and such from time to time. And it's like, after all of my research with the psychological traumas being taken care of on a cognitive level, what I think is going on is because I can just be hanging out and everything's fine, and then all of a sudden I will just start to get into a panic attack, or I'll start to get into some form of anxiousness, or my hands will get cramped or in pain. My legs will do the same. I'm chronically fatigued. I have a low sex drive. I freaking go to sleep, put my head down. I could be totally relaxed, totally calm, but I can't cross over. After all my research and all this, I finally came across a book. And this book I would extremely, extremely recommend for anybody who's dealing with anything. It's called the UltraMind Solution. It's spelled just like it sounds, UltraMind Solution. It's by Dr. I think Mark Hyman, something like that. And in this book, I think holds quite literally the keys to wellness. So, I keep repeating myself, but after all my research, here's what I think I'm dealing with. I think I am dealing with an extremely long period of nutrient and vitamin deficiency that has then been aggravated by acute and chronic stress, which would absolutely make sense due to my 20s and everything of which I've dealt with. Couple those things together, basically not giving my body what it needs to flourish, nutrient and vitamin wise, and then add in horrendous times, crazy events in life, all different times of, serious stresses and damaging psychological traumas, with lack of sleep from said events and the sleep apnea, right? Because I ended up getting diagnosed with sleep apnea, which means I stop breathing when I'm sleeping, and I never reach deep sleep, so no restorative sleep. If you couple in all of that shit for the last 8 years, it makes total sense that my chemical levels have become imbalanced. So my insulin levels are off. What has happened is I've gotten to the point where I said the hell with it with work right now. I still work, obviously, I still get things done, but I've tapered it so far back, and my primary focus is getting my health and my body, my mind, everything right, because it's just no way to live the way that I've been feeling. And I've been reading this book for a while, and it makes so much sense of everything that I've been going through. And it makes sense that your body, despite the fact that I was eating all organic, the way that I was eating, the portions that I was eating, the unbalanced way of I'm sorry, a guy literally just pulled in front of me and almost just had a head-on collision with me. I'm the one who's fucking talking on my phone while I'm driving, and I can drive better than you. So all of these factors can cause all these different levels of imbalances within ourselves. So my insulin's off, my testosterone's off, my neurotransmitters, my serotonin is like severely low, my GABA is severely low, dopamine is moderately low, acid, whatever, fucking shit's all over, all right? I feel like shit, chronically muscle aches, fatigue, moody, I'm moody. So the point is that I've kind of pulled out all the stops to focus on this, and I started going to a functional doctor. It's called functional medicine, and the difference between functional medicine and normal medicine is that functional medicine focuses on the body as a whole. Everything that you have focuses on the body as a whole, as opposed to like, oh, you're depressed, take some antidepressants, which just exacerbate the problem, down the line. So I'm super excited about going here and doing this and such. And though I do not want to experience what I have, now that it makes so much sense that what I'm dealing with is just all different imbalances within my body that have shown up throughout the years, and I've just ignored them because of, I don't know, in the name of success or in the name of being an idiot. I don't know. It's really one or the other. I think there is so many people out there dealing with these kinds of issues. So when you have anxiety or you have all different types of like ailments and such, the levels that you're dealing with them, I find that I've dealt with things to the higher spectrum, and it's so debilitating. Like sometimes you can't leave the house. Like when I go to sleep, I probably sleep around 3, maybe 5 hours a night. And then some days I'll go completely without sleep. The longest I think I got is almost like 50 hours without sleep, and still trying to function on that. It just makes everything worse, And so for everybody out there dealing with it, get the UltraMind Solution. Read about it. I mean, it's a very deep book. There's a lot involved. And get a functional medicine practitioner who's going to look at your body as a whole and is not just going to start prescribing things for no reason. They're going to look at everything that you got going on. They're going to look at the diet of which you take in, because that's where you get the chemical compounds to make your body run efficiently. They're going to take a look at your lifestyle, your hormones, your insulin levels, your toxicity. If you grew up in a house that has lead paint in the walls, you can have, lead toxification issues. If you have a bunch of dental amalgam fillings, you can have mercury poisoning. It goes so deep. And again, as much as I wish I never had to deal with any of this shit, I could just take the knowledge from it, because I know I'm going to get past this, especially now that I'm on the right track, because my symptoms have been lessening more and more and more. And now that I all this is finally coming together after an 8-year fucking period, what bothers me is that I research things to ridiculous levels, and I do things tirelessly. And for me to have taken 8 years to find the solution to what I've been dealing with and to get on the right track is terrifying to me, for the common and typical person out there who's dealing with this stuff. That's just going to be this slow decline into fucking madness and psychiatric drugs and all this other bullshit that big pharma fucking peddles to people. So I'd like to try to share this, and please share this with other people. The UltraMind Solution, and get a functional medicine practitioner. This will get you on the right track. They're going to look at you as a whole, and they're gonna work with you to do everything naturally, so that your body can take care of itself naturally, as opposed to having to be on pills and all different types of shit for the rest of your life. So, again, I wish I hadn't had to deal with this, but one thing I will say this has given me such a compassionate view of people who I don't like. Like, for example, you know, people in my life who have been overly nasty, or some of the people in my life who were mentally and emotionally abusive to me, who were supposed to be really close to me and people I could count on. It makes so much more sense now, because their anger issues were really this chemical imbalance deep within themselves, and they didn't want to be that way, but they were feeling these emotions to such incredible levels, they couldn't help but act upon them. The same way that I deal with anxiety because of, you know, the reservoirs of the chemicals being all fucked up, you know, in my brain because of lack of nutrients and vitamins, and living a lifestyle that was just not conducive to true health. And the way that I can't control my anxiety currently is the same way that they couldn't control their anger, you know, when they were doing what they were doing to me. So it's like, it's so much more I have so much more of an understanding now towards people who deal with things, and understanding who they are as people and what they're struggling with, because of the fact that now I have firsthand experience for the last several years of a decline in abilities, you know, to the point of where somebody, even with all of my drive and even with all of my goals and pulling out all the stops and doing whatever the fuck it takes to get there, would be brought in ways to my knees, right? So, you know, again, just practice kindness to others. I try to preach that on this channel. Practice kindness to others. You know, you have no clue what people are going through, and you know, just if your guys are struggling with stuff out there, especially if it's any of the symptoms of what I talked about, I mean, even down to like muscle aches and cramps and issues, like I try to go to sleep at night and my body will heat up, or I will just like have an instant shot of adrenaline because of some issues with, I don't know, the cortisol levels or what, I don't even know. I'm not some total knowledge person when it comes to exactly the names for all this and why it happens. But if you're dealing with all that kind of stuff, just keep going, you know, keep going, keep researching, stop scrolling on Instagram and stupid shit that isn't helping you, and just keep researching, keep talking to people, keep finding new people and new avenues to explore and to get you to where you want to be. And you know, if this is your first time at this channel, I share a lot of stuff about my life's journey and just ideas about the world and things of which I'm trying to do, and you know, things that are helping me out. I try to share them on here, and if you like that kinds of stuff, you know, subscribe and, I don't know, tag somebody in this or whatever, someone who needs to hear this stuff or understand that there is hope out there, because we're not supposed to live as some sick species that, you know, is barely functioning and, you know, has anxiety all the time, or is depressed, or is this or is that. That's not our fortunes in life. That's not where we're supposed to be. It's just, there's so much that's just controlled in terms of, you know, I'm going to have to back up, so I'm going to have to get off the phone. But there's so much that's controlled in terms of the information that you're allowed to get, you know, whether it's from big pharma or it's from, I'm going to back up while talking on the phone and get into an accident. There's so much that's controlled in the media, so much that's controlled in general, and you are not allowed a lot of the remedies to things because it makes so much fucking goddamn money to not help you guys. So anyways, keep doing whatever the fuck you're doing out there. Like this video, I appreciate it. Leave a comment, and yeah, I'll see you at the top. I'm gonna get better, so should you.